2019, this year in review. And man, this year just sucked, man. This company's product keeps getting worse and worse. I thought it was bad last year, but this year's even worse. Yeah, there's some good moments, but a lot of bad. So, let's get into it, shall we? Okay. So we open up this year with the McMahons coming out. See Shane, Stephanie, Triple H, and Vince. They all come out. Y'all explain that the company is not doing right by the fans. Well, we've known that for like 7 years. Of course not doing right by the fans. Now they want to admit this. They said in the coming months and weeks we're seeing new faces, fresh matchups. Same speech they give like every couple of years. 2018 Seth Rollins said that the Raw sucks. Right. So I was buying their speech for a while. They're not doing right by the fans. We're going to see fresh matchups, new faces. They said we're the authority. But then they put the blame on Baron Corbin and other middle managers. Seth Rollins did the same thing in 2018 as well. And they said they were going to take the shows back. And that's when I started selling it and not buying it anymore. Taking the shows back? You guys have already had the shows since like the 1950s. We're not stupid. We know that Vince runs a company. We know that Vince runs the show. It's not really Baron. I mean, come on. But your speech was eye-opening. It was shocking. I'm shocked that they admit this, that they weren't doing right by the fans. So I would see how long this speech went before it meant nothing. So we got the build to the Royal Rumble, and I thought the build to the Royal Rumble was pretty good. You had a fiery promo with Triple H, Seth Rollins. You want to know where the old Seth Rollins is at? One who's ruthless and arrogant, soulless. I liked it. Stepped up Seth Rollins. Said Vince had a promo with AJ. This is the house that AJ Styles built. Why isn't AJ Styles competing in his house? See, Vince slapped AJ and AJ slapped Vince and got intense. You had the great promo exchange between Cena and McIntyre. Probably the best promo that month. You had Cena come out. He said McIntyre's like everyone else. Cena had to leave because that McIntyre come up with a different promo. So McIntyre said that like Cena's not there anymore. It's McIntyre's time. Cena's washed up. Cena's heard that every year. Then Cena replied, "What makes you any different from anyone else?" I was like, "Ooh, yeah." Yeah, Daniel Bryan turned heel. He was kind of like a environmentalist heel, saying that the environment's in shambles, making fun of Americans, how they eat, do their thing. He got into a feud with AJ Styles. This was pretty good. They had Ronda Rousey feud with Sasha Banks. It was supposed to be Nia Jax, but she got like an injury. She tore both her ACLs. Until they replaced her with Sasha Banks. Yet Braun Strowman originally was going to face Brock Lesnar. However, he broke Vince's limousine, and therefore he was pulled away from the match. For good reason, because Heyman exposed him on the microphone. A promo between Heyman and Strowman. Heyman asked, what is Strowman going to do about Brock Lesnar? Strowman just froze. So anyway, next week we had Vince McMahon coming out. He wanted to find a number one contender for Brock Lesnar at the Rumble. Out came Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Cena. They all want a shot at Brock Lesnar. Then you have Finn Balor coming out. He wants a shot at Brock Lesnar. I'm not too high on Finn Balor, but I like the promo here with Vince McMahon. McMahon pretty much cut him down, saying that he doesn't stand a chance against all this beef in the ring. Balor's an extraordinary competitor. He just doesn't have it. And Finn replied, Vince has never really believed. Vince, you never really believed in me. You never did. I like it. So Finn cuts a promo with Brock Lesnar. It's a David versus Goliath-like moment. So we got Finn and Balor and Brock Lesnar in the Rumble. A match that I've been wanting to see for a while. Yet Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, they won the Raw Tag Team Championships off the Office of Pain. I was happy about that. Bobby Lashley won the Intercontinental Championship off of Dean Ambrose. I was fine with that. You had Hulk Hogan cut an amazing eulogy promo for the honor of Mean Gene Okerlund, who just recently passed away in January 2019. Right out of the gate, another legend passes away. So we get to the Royal Rumble. We had Brock Lesnar defeat Finn Balor. We had Daniel Bryan defeat AJ Styles. Shane McMahon and The Miz won the SmackDown Tag Team titles. They formed a tag team coming out of Crown Jewel. So yeah, Shane was reluctant at first, but they kind of got on the same page. Jack Gale and Bobby Roode, they retained their titles at the Rumble. Ronda Rousey beat Sasha Banks. Becky Lynch won the Women's Royal Rumble. And Seth Rollins won the Men's Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble's alright. You know, I didn't really care too much about Becky or Seth winning the Rumble, but it was going to happen sooner or later. I was fine with Seth, but I kind of knew what they would do with Seth Rollins later on. We'll get there. So the first month of the WWE Product 2019 was amazing. I loved it. So everything that they said was coming true. However, the final remaining months to WrestleMania just got off. We had Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman. They got into a feud. I couldn't care. They had EC3 make his debut on the main roster. Beat Dean Ambrose. That's great. Then the next week, Dean Ambrose beats him and does nothing. So they wasted EC3 from TNA. Well, you had Becky Lynch do this storyline with Triple H and Stephanie. You know, this led to WrestleMania between her, Ronda, and Charlotte. I couldn't really care for it. First, he has Becky Lynch come out and confront Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie said that Becky's injured. She can't compete at Mania. She needs to see a doctor, so she's going to be temporarily suspended. And yet Becky Lynch attacks Stephanie McMahon. But then Triple H comes out on SmackDown and addresses the situation. Here comes Becky Lynch, walking into SmackDown, who's suspended, by the way, and slaps Triple H. So now she's indefinitely suspended. Not medically suspended, but indefinitely suspended. However, on Saturday, a few days right after SmackDown, guess what happened? The Authority invited Becky Lynch back to Raw. I don't know why you suspended her. She attacked Stephanie and Triple H. Now they want to invite her back to Raw. Apparently she saw a doctor over the weekend and she got cleared. I probably would have made like a 2 months long storyline for her trying to see a doctor and getting cleared. They didn't really need to bring this whole Authority stuff in. I hate the Authority. They what made me hate the Proc years ago. So yeah. Becky Lynch comes out to the Authority. They want her to apologize and then she'll be unsuspended. Does she apologize? Kind of, but not really. So they unsuspended. Great. But then you have Vince McMahon comes out and he says, Becky, your behavior is not tolerable. So I'm suspending you for 60 days and replacing you at WrestleMania is going to be Charlotte Flair. So we're getting Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. Again, another heel Authority figure trying to screw Becky Lynch. I couldn't really care. Then Kofi Kingston had to compete in a gauntlet. Then Kofi Kingston compete in a gauntlet match. He qualified for the Elimination Chamber. Teach the feud to Daniel Bryan. That was alright. Bayley Lynch, Sasha Banks, they formed a tag team called the Boston Hug Connection. They're going after the women's tag titles. I couldn't care. It's 2018. They were spending the entire summer breaking up with one another or being friends with one another. They couldn't decide. Now they did. It became the Boston Hug Connection. Kind of ripping off the Rock and Sock Connection. She hit the Elimination Chamber, Boston Hug Connection with the women's tag titles. That was alright. Bryan retains at the Chamber. The Usos defeated Shane McMahon and The Miz. Got a heel turn from Shane McMahon. He attacked The Miz's father. So that was pretty cool. You had Finn Balor defeat Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush for the Intercontinental Championship. But I didn't care for that. And he had Baron Corbin defeat Braun Strowman to help with Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Calling themselves the Legion of Doom. The way they beat Braun Strowman is by a Shield powerbomb. And that was not by any coincidence. So your final, so your road to Fastlane builds. Yeah, the Revival win the tag team titles off Roode and Gable. I was proud of them winning, but I couldn't care about the Revival. The Elimination Chamber, you had Becky Lynch attack both Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. Just a big brawl. Yet Roman Reigns come out on Raw, announced that he's in remission. He's back from leukemia. That's good. Yet Seth and Dean come out to celebrate with him, and they got to feud the Legion of Doom. Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Lashley. I couldn't really care much for it because you have Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins scheduled for WrestleMania, and you want to sacrifice a month of build for another Shield reunion. The only reason why I did this Shield reunion is because Roman Reigns back in remission, plus Dean Ambrose was leaving the company. Whatever. So then Kevin Owens came back and did feud Dan Bryan, and that was alright. You had some new people added to the main roster. Ricochet, Aleister Black, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano. That was alright. Starting to see some new faces. You get Fastlane, the Shield defeated the Legion's Doom. Samoa Joe won the U.S. title off of R-Truth. I was fine with that. You had Daniel Bryan. He beat Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali. You had Sasha Banks, Bayley. They retained their tag titles. You had Becky Lynch defeat Charlotte Flair by disqualification due to Ronda Rousey interference, and so that was like Becky Lynch to get into the main event of WrestleMania or something like that. So then the next night, you have Batista and Ric Flair do a feud for WrestleMania. And this feud started off great. Like what they did at SmackDown 1000. Like the night when Batista attacked Ric Flair. Like the promos between Batista and Triple H. But the final leg of this feud was just kind of boring. Batista never really explained why he left the company in 2014. He never went over that time period. Never went over him being screwed at WrestleMania and not getting his one-on-one title shot with WWE Champion. So this feud just quickly fell apart. As Ronda confronts Stephanie McMahon, she wants Becky Lynch to be added to the main event of WrestleMania. Stephanie McMahon kind of refused at first. She said she was going to strip Ronda of the title for yelling at her. Yet Charlotte and Becky come out and they all force Stephanie to make the match a triple threat. A couple days later on SmackDown, you had Charlotte Flair beat Asuka 10 days till WrestleMania. She wants the SmackDown Women's Championship. I didn't care for that. But I get why, because Ronda's the Raw Women's Champion, Becky's Royal Rumble winner. I guess they need a prize for Charlotte. Then you had an arrest angle between them. You had Lashley win back the Intercontinental Championship. I like that. You had Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. They started a feud for WrestleMania. That was okay. You had Kurt Angle pick Baron Corbin as his opponent for WrestleMania, his retirement match. Some people were hoping John Cena, but I get it. Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin replaced Kurt as general manager. You had Brock and Seth Rollins. They did their WrestleMania feud. Couldn't care for it. They sacrificed it to a Shield reunion. At Miz and Shane, they did a feud for WrestleMania. That was cool. AJ and Randy Orton. That was alright. Kofi did a feud with Daniel Bryan. I also got Vince McMahon involved. Kofi had to compete in a qualifying gauntlet match for WrestleMania. He lost. So then the New Day had to do a tag team gauntlet match. They won, so Kofi got his match with Daniel Bryan. So you got the WrestleMania 35, and this WrestleMania is pretty good, man. The past couple WrestleManias they've done have been pretty good. I just wish the build is better. Yeah, Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, they won the Raw Tag Team titles off the Revival. Tony Nese won the Cruiserweight Championship off of Buddy Murphy. John Cena made an appearance as the Dr. Thugonomics, taking out Elias. Samoa Joe beat Ricochet in a minute and a half to retain the U.S. title. So he gets to win the WrestleMania. That's pretty good. Roman Reigns beat Drew McIntyre. The Iconics won the women's tag titles at WrestleMania. Surprised Sasha Banks Bayley didn't retain. At first, I supported the Iconics. You had Shane McMahon shockingly upset The Miz. And AJ Styles beat Randy Orton. Finn Balor beat Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental title. Kofi beat Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. Triple H defeated Batista. Yet Seth Rollins curb stomped Brock Lesnar. Seth Rollins walks out the champion. And Becky Lynch beats Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair in the first ever women's WrestleMania main event. However, the finish was botched. But yeah. As far as this build goes, it was awful. My favorite WrestleMania build is still John Cena and The Rock from WrestleMania 27 to WrestleMania 29. No other WrestleMania build has ever beaten that. Rock and John Cena they accomplished something. Rock accomplished that he still got, and Cena accomplished that he's the best wrestler in this decade. WrestleMania 30 didn't accomplish anything. He wouldn't turn to Rob Van Dam, he wouldn't return to Batista, broke the streak of The Undertaker. He put a poor guy named Dan Bryan to the main event of WrestleMania for like 3 weeks left. Beats the entire stable of Evolution in one night, but then gets a neck injury, vacate the titles. So that whole Yes Movie thing was kind of useless, wasting time. I've done Batista and Brock Lesnar at that event. I've had Undertaker beat Randy Orton, keep the streak intact. Whatever. WrestleMania 31, what was accomplished there? I don't know. Seth Rollins cashed in the middle of the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match. Daniel Bryan should have won the Royal Rumble that year, but that didn't happen. 32, what did that accomplish? It shows you how god-awful this company is. 33 showed you that The Undertaker needs to retire. 34 to showcase Brock Lesnar's superiority. And this one, it just showed that women can main event the main event WrestleMania. Just another political statement. Coming out of WrestleMania, we have the Superstar Shakeup, and this was not a good one at all. None of these guys became stars. Maybe a couple of them. Lacey Evans is all right. Aleister Black's finally doing something. I like the pairing between Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. And Machinery, they had a slow start. But everyone else, no. Ricochet, no. He wasn't a star. Neither was Lars Sullivan. Felt bad for Lars Sullivan because he made his debut on SmackDown. He had like a promo package. But never made his physical debut because he had an anxiety attack. And when he does make his actual debut, he gets injured like a month later. And on top of that, you have all these racist posts he put on Reddit. And now he's doing like gay porn films. You gotta delete all that stuff, man, to come into this company, man. Everything you've done in your past that will get you in trouble, you need to just wash it all away. People will find that stuff and they're gonna criticize you, ridicule you. Yeah. So get rid of all that stuff. I would recommend you leaving the company for a couple of years, then come back when you feel ready. Buddy Murphy, yeah, didn't really do anything. Same thing with Cedric Alexander. Kairi Sane, same thing. She formed a tag team called the Kabuki Warriors. Couldn't really care about her either. Roberto Carrillo, same thing. Worst thing was the Viking experience. They noticed the War Raiders and Ring of Honor had some interest in them. Came to NXT, they were known as the War Raiders. But then they came into the Monday Night Raw and they called them the Viking Experience. They pretty much run since then. For like 9-10 months, they've been fighting jobbers. AJ Styles, he came over from Raw to SmackDown. Roman Reigns came over to SmackDown from Raw to like super punch Vince McMahon in the face. Just set up feuds for Money in the Bank. So I thought we were going in for another terrible month of programming, but this month was alright. 2 terrible months so far. The only month I like was January. You get to the month of April. Lars Sullivan come out. He laid out Jeff Hardy. He's laid out Kurt Angle. You know, the Hardy Boys, they won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Where they had it vacated due to Jeff Hardy's injury. Lacey Evans defeated Becky Lynch. That was pretty cool. You had Kevin Owens interviewed with Kofi Kingston. He joined the New Day, but then turned heel. That was alright with that. And they had Shane McMahon form an alliance with Elias to take down Roman Reigns. AJ and Seth Rollins, they did a feud over the Universal title, a contract signing. I like this feud, man. This is the only Seth Rollins feud I pretty much liked of his Universal title reign. So Money in the Bank, at Rey Mysterio beat Samoa Joe like a minute and a half. Roman Reigns beat Elias. Bayley won the Money in the Bank briefcase. And Becky Lynch defeat Lacey Evans. Charlotte Flair came down and beat Becky Lynch for the SmackDown championship. They had Bayley come out and cash in on Charlotte Flair, and she became the SmackDown Women's Champion. Right decision there. Yet Seth Rollins defeat AJ Styles. Shane McMahon once again shockingly upsets the Miz side of a steel cage as their feud continued. You get the Money in the Bank ladder match. And Mustafa Ali trying to win the briefcase. But all of a sudden, here comes Brock Lesnar. Grabs the briefcase and wins it. Now, a lot of people had issue with Brock Lesnar winning the briefcase, but I didn't. He's a big guy. He's going to break the news. He's one of the biggest names they got. He's a heel. Supposed to make you angry. Supposed to piss you off. That was funny when he came out, man. I like Brock Lesnar now, man. He's doing all these funny gimmicks, like squashing Braun Strowman, winning a Money in the Bank briefcase. I like Lesnar now. Wasn't a fan for about a couple of years, but he's reinvigorated me to become a fan of him again. So then we get the feeds to Super Showdown. Another good month. We got the debut of Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse, and The Fiend. Shane McMahon, Roman Reigns, they did the feud. Baron Corbin did the feud with Seth Rollins. Which, Brock Lesnar has the briefcase. He should have cashed in at Super Showdown. Had a match with AJ. Had a match with Seth Rollins there. I don't know why I chose Baron Corbin, but those feud was alright. He had the threat of Brock Lesnar. He was lurking around Kofi and Seth. He has the briefcase. It means he can cash on either one of them. Kofi Kingston did a feud with Dolph Ziggler. You had Ricochet. He made his debut on the main roster. I wasn't too high on Ricochet. We'll go into Ricochet. Self-destruction of Ricochet. Or burial of Ricochet. Triple H, Randy Orton did a feud in the Super Showdown. We got Undertaker and Goldberg announced as the match for Super Showdown. To the Super Showdown, Seth Rollins defeated Baron Corbin, and he fended off Brock Lesnar's cash-in. Kofi Kingston beat Dolph Ziggler. Shane McMahon is on a winning streak. He upsets Roman Reigns with the help of Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton beat Triple H. Get the Undertaker and Goldberg. Undertaker wins. It's a very controversial match. This match got a lot of negative reception. But I was fine with it. They were in Saudi Arabia. It's 150 degrees there to two 50-year-olds. What do you expect? A 5-star classic? Come on. I knew this match wasn't going to be that great, but yet Goldberg bleed. Yet Goldberg dropped the Undertaker on his head when he did the jackhammer. Undertaker also dropped Goldberg on his head with the tombstone. Undertaker wins. I was fine with the match. And his match was going to be that great, but it was scary. That's the word I'll describe it. And that's what made the match for me. So, 2 straight months, man, the WWE had a solid product coming out of Mania. But after that, it went right back to being, god-awful again. Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins announced their relationship to the world. That was kind of stupid. Why don't you put a target on both of your backs? Alright. So you're Seth Rollins, you're the world champion. Well, now people are coming after you know that Becky Lynch is your girlfriend. So you're putting her in harm's way. What's to stop Brock Lesnar coming down and breaking her arm? This will later become an issue. Plus, you have the commentators every week say that they're in a relationship, their boyfriend and girlfriend. It was awful. Yet Seth continues to feud with Baron Corbin. I didn't really care for it. And I like Baron Corbin, though. You see him hitting Seth Rollins with a steel chair. I like Baron. I just didn't like Seth. He's just too stupid. Becky Lynch, she continued to feud with Lacey Evans. I couldn't care. Samoa Joe got the United States Championship back from Rey Mysterio because he had a shoulder injury. He had Lynch's title back to him. Dolph Ziggler continued his feud of Kofi. Couldn't really care. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, they did a feud towards Stomping Grounds. It was alright. Kevin and Sami Zayn, they got back together. Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan, they won the SmackDown Tag Titles. That was fine. You had Alexa Bliss and Bayley feud towards Stomping Grounds, and this received the debut of Nikki Cross in the pairing of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, which I like their pairing. But, yeah. The month of June, though, it's pretty much sucked. The only months I liked was January, April, and May. But February, March, and June, it just sucked. And it gets worse from here. So it goes Stomping Grounds. Roman Reigns beats Drew McIntyre. Kofi Kingston beats Dolph Ziggler inside the steel cage. Becky Lynch defeated Lacey Evans. You had Ricochet beat Samoa Joe for the U.S. title. I couldn't really care. All Ricochet was doing 50-50 booking against Cesaro, Bobby Roode, Baron Corbin. He had no feuds, so I couldn't care for Ricochet. Although everyone was telling me that Ricochet was great. I didn't buy it. If everyone won the U.S. title here and see Triple H congratulating him in the back, I like that. So I was starting to believe the fans. Maybe he is to beat it. Maybe he's the next breakout star. Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan retained their SmackDown Tag Titles. Bayley beat Alexa Bliss, retained her SmackDown Women's Championship, and we get the main event. Seth Rollins, Baron Corbin. Seth Rollins walks out the Universal Championship. There was special guest referee Lacey Evans. Why is Lacey Evans in this match? Why is she special guest referee? Because she fought Becky Lynch earlier in the night, and Becky Lynch is Seth Rollins' girlfriend. There you go. Lacey Evans is going after Becky Lynch. She knows that Seth is her boyfriend, so she can screw Seth. Don't get personal. So then it was announced that Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are becoming the executive directors. Paul Heyman, executive director of Raw. Eric Bischoff, executive director of SmackDown. And people were saying there's going to be big changes. They're going to write the shows for the fans. Vince is going to remove himself from the weeds a little. I didn't buy it. Same people every week saying that the product's going to change, but it never does. But that first opening night of Raw, under their leadership, see Bobby Lashley fight Braun Strowman in a street fight, and Lashley spears Braun Strowman into a Titantron, causing a lot of pyro to go off, which was pretty cool. So I thought there was a chance of hope that the product would change, but it didn't. Revival won the Raw Tag Team titles at their Stomping Grounds. They went back from Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Couldn't care. Every time they won the tag titles, they lost. Seth and Becky Lynch, still a couple. They feuded again with Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Said it was a mixed gender tag team match advertised for Extreme Rules. Couldn't care because they're just a bunch of mixed gender tag matches with Mike and Maria, Andrade, and Zelina Vega. Couldn't care. So now you have the Stomping Grounds. You have Ricochet versus AJ advertised for the main event. It's Ricochet's time. Make or break. It's a non-title match. What does AJ do here? He beats Ricochet, the U.S. champion. So it's the first night as champion. You have Ricochet lose to AJ. That's not good for Ricochet. And Kofi due to feud Samoa Joe, gave him the middle finger. So it was a touch of Eric Bischoff. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, I like their pairing. Like what they did with Mike and Maria here. They had some type of storyline where Mike was losing a bunch of matches in 205 Live, and Maria was just embarrassing him and calling him out on it. They did some type of pregnancy angle too. The Undertaker made a shocking return, and he helped Roman Reigns fend off Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. So we have Extreme Rules. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title. Then couldn't really care. Aleister Black defeated Cesaro. He did these darkroom promos for like a month. And all he did was ask people to pick a fight with him. Kofi Kingston, he beat Samoa Joe at this event. Undertaker, Roman Reigns beat Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon. Bayley beats Alexa Bliss once again. Braun Strowman defeat Bobby Lashley in a last man standing match. And we get a U.S. title match between AJ and Ricochet. How this match came about? Well, night of Stomping Grounds, AJ beat Ricochet. Beat your champion first night after the show. First day in his title reign, he loses. Next week, if Ricochet beat AJ in controversy, this is a U.S. title match here. What happens here? You think Ricochet would win. Think again, AJ beats Ricochet. So you give Ricochet 1 month title reign. That's not really good. Now you're starting to bury him. Yeah, so now I'm right about Ricochet, man. He ain't no star. So you had Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins. They beat Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. However, here you see Baron Corbin gave it in a daze to Becky Lynch. Seth Rollins is just stupid for doing this match. First he comes out Raw and accepts a stipulation match with Baron Corbin. But he doesn't know what it is. And it's a mixed gender tag team match. He's stupid because he's putting his girlfriend's title in jeopardy. He's a stupid man. Yep, Brock Lesnar come out, has the briefcase, catches on Seth Rollins, beats him within a minute, and I'm just happy, man. Brock is champion again. That was funny. Finally put the guy out of his misery. Today at Extreme Rules, you have Mick Foley reveal the 24/7 title. They're kind of bringing back the hardcore title. So, I like the design, I like the idea, but I don't really care much for a title sense. I like R-Truth, though. He's the current champion. You had Gallows and Anderson, they won the tag titles off the Revival, so him and AJ, they're all champions. You had this mystery attacker storyline with Roman Reigns. You had someone try to run him over a forklift in a car. It's a pretty cool storyline. We got a great match between Roman Reigns and Buddy Murphy. You had Buddy Murphy beat Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton did defeat Kofi Kingston. That was pretty good. Kevin Owens did defeat Shane McMahon towards SummerSlam. That was alright. And then things fell apart from here. You had Ember Moon do a feud with Bayley. I didn't care. I didn't care about the Becky Lynch-Natalya feud. You had Ricochet win a gauntlet match, fight AJ Styles at SummerSlam. I couldn't care. Another rematch. Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, they beat the Iconics for the women's tag titles. I was fine with that because I hated the Iconics. I supported them at first, but they never defended the title, and every time they were in a match, they lost. Trish Stratus defeated Charlotte Flair. That was fine. And you had the Brock Lesnar Seth Rollins feud. Didn't really care. Another rematch. Just like Roman Reigns last year. I did like Brock beating up Seth Rollins with a steel chair. Seth is stupid again because he got attacked by Brock Lesnar 1 week. Like Brock did him an F5 on the stretcher. And the next week he takes a steel chair, makes a beeline towards Lesnar, and same thing happens. He's stupid. I hate Seth Rollins. I knew this would happen. Now people are finally starting to turn on him. Good. Then we have the Raw reunion. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin come back. Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair come back. A DX reunion. RVD, Sergeant Slaughter, Kurt Angle of the Hurricane. They're there. You have Mike and Maria do another conversation here. Maria says she's pregnant. So, she says that Mike is not the father. Which is shocking. Then you have Eric Bischoff come in and says, hey Mike, hey Maria, you guys aren't doing well on Raw, come over to SmackDown. So cheap plug there. It's Tina show up, Andre Blaze, Melina, Candice Michelle, they were there. John Cena opened up the show. The battle rap with the Usos. Then you had Mick Foley get attacked by the Fiend. And this show, it pretty much sucked, man. I liked all the part-timers there. I give the show a 5 out of 10. That's the only thing that I liked. Part-timers, 24/7 title segment, the old legends in it. That was great. But all it did was expose the current talent. The tag champions. The Revival, they lost. Sami Zayn got buried by Rey Mysterio because all these legends, RVD and Kurt Angle come out. You had DX and Bears, AJ Styles. So this show is pretty much awful, but it got 3 million viewers. The highest rated show this year because they're so desperate. They brought all these part-timers. There's like 50 legends here. Come on. SummerSlam. And this was a pretty good SummerSlam. Man, 9 out of 10, the best SummerSlam they did in years. I just wish the build was better for these shows, man. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, they beat the Iconics, changed their tag titles. Alright, that Bayley beats Ember Moon. Because Ember Moon's buried. Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton went to a no contest. So this feud's going to continue. If Bray Wyatt the Fiend defeat Finn Balor. Finn Balor took a couple months off. And Becky Lynch beat Natalya. Goldberg came back. He beat Dolph Ziggler within like 10 seconds to get that bad taste out of the mouth of his match. The Undertaker. The Undertaker hit his match at Extreme Rules, and our Goldberg's coming back from Dublin. Kevin Owens defeated Shane McMahon, and Kevin Owens would have lost, he would have been fired. Charlotte Flair defeated Trish Stratus. Yet Edge come back. He speared Elias. Yet Seth Rollins curb stomped Brock Lesnar. He's Universal Champion again. I could not care. I think the right decision here was Brock Lesnar winning, but they did not do that. Brock is champion. He could build up to that one contender. Seth is champion. Same problems would occur. Then we get the United States Championship match. AJ Styles and Ricochet. I thought Ricochet was winning here too. Ugh. I would hate that. I hate these types of matches where they don't have any feuds or storylines. Just a match-by-match series. I beat you, you beat me, you have a rubber match. That's exactly what happened here. Ricochet has had no feuds. It's just a match-by-match series. 50-50 booking with Cesaro, Baron Corbin, Bobby Roode. Couldn't really care. Now it's doing the same thing with AJ. Lose to AJ, Nam stomping grounds, beats him a week later by controversy, loses the Extreme Rules. You'd think Ricochet would have to win here. He beats AJ here, he's a made man. But no, AJ Styles beats Ricochet. These guys have had, I'll say, about 4 matches with one another, and AJ's beaten him 3 times. So this guy's buried, man. He was never the same after this. AJ Styles retains the U.S. title. So yeah. The build for the SummerSlam, golf. This summer was just awful, man. Just terrible feuds, terrible booking. Plus, you had 2 Vince McMahon edicts. Only had the wild card rule, which allowed members to go from Raw to SmackDown. But they did it every week. These same guys. Plus, you had no wrestling during the commercials, which ideas that sounded good, but every match they did was either a 2 out of 3 falls, elimination match. Couldn't really care. That is awful. Run this hire something for me. So you get the road to Clash of Champions in September. This month is alright, but it's Seth Rollins defeated with Braun Strowman. He's stupid again, man. Braun's the biggest guy in the back. Why would you challenge him? They become a Raw Tag Team Championships off of Gallows and Anderson. Stupid. So you form a tag team with Braun, and you know he's going to turn on you. Come on. And plus they were fighting each other, Clash Champions. Match I had no interest in. Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, their feud continued. It was alright. Then there's Cedric Alexander come up, and he did a feud with AJ. I didn't care. It wasn't really feuds, just a bunch of series of matches, which AJ pretty much won, except for the one at Madison Square Garden. It's Steve Austin come back, son AJ Styles, and Cedric and his team beat AJ in the club. Whatever. Sasha Banks came back. She defeated Becky Lynch. It was alright. Mediocre at best. She didn't explain why she attacked Becky Lynch or attacked Natalya, but it came down to the match at Clash of Champions. They threw Bayley into the mix. Bayley did a feud with Charlotte Flair. And we have the King of the Ring tournament coming back. I never cared for King of the Ring last time they did King of the Ring. Wade Barrett was your Your winner should have been Neville, but whatever. But, it was alright King Reign like Kevin Owens did, like what Chad Gable did, like Baron Corbin. Everything else I couldn't really care. Yet Eric Rowan be revealed as Roman Reigns' mystery attacker. Roman Reigns was not on the SummerSlam card. So Roman Reigns, man, ever since WrestleMania, he's been in the mid-card. Like Roman, looks better than Seth Rollins. We have Clash of the Champions. The Revival, they won the SmackDown Tag Titles off the New Day. I didn't really care. Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode beat Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins because they had some issues teaming up with another. I predicted that happening. I was fine with that. AJ Styles beats Cedric Alexander. Didn't really care. This guy's buried. Same route as Ricochet. Eric Rowan gets the upset victory over Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, he's lost to Shane McMahon. He's losing to Eric Rowan. He's putting guys over. I'm starting to like Roman Reigns a little bit more. And I'll always have, but, I like him more than Steph. Kofi beat Randy Orton. I was shocked by that. And then, I was shocked by that. I thought Randy was winning. Because the Rivals are champions, So I thought they would all be champions here. But that wasn't the case. Sasha Banks beat Becky Lynch by disqualification. Becky Lynch hit her with a steel chair. Bayley beats Charlotte Flair. Shocking victory. I was fine with that. Yet Seth Rollins beat Braun Strowman. That was alright. And you had the Fiend attack Seth Rollins. So we get the road towards Hell in a Cell. Baron Corbin becomes the King Ring winner. I think it should have been Chad Gable. Roman Reigns continues to feud for Eric Rowan. Daniel Bryan got into the mix here. Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, their feud continued. I didn't really care much for it. The feud's going into October. Weren't really that good. Second half of September, whatever. All the Becky Lynch did was scare Sasha Banks away. But it came down to the match at Hell in a Cell. Brock Lesnar came back. He challenged Kofi for the WWE Championship for SmackDown's debut on Fox. Bray Wyatt did the feud with The Fiend. I like The Fiend and Seth Rollins. The feud was pretty cool. Bray Wyatt attacking all these legends. Now he's going after the Universal title. Kind of reinvigorated Bray Wyatt a little. Seth was scared of The Fiend. I like what they did here. Bray Wyatt attacking him, teasing him, taunting him. We got the debut of the Street Profits. They beat the OC. Finally, for 3 months, these guys were in the back just doing these cringe promos. Had the Viking Raiders become tag team champions. I couldn't really care. For 6-7 months, they beat up a bunch of jobbers. Kabuki Warriors, they won the women's tag titles. I couldn't really care about them, but I did like them turning heel and attacking Paige. So then we got October. We had the Wednesday Night War, NXT versus AEW. I like the Wednesday Night Wars. It's a newsworthy month, man. Finn Balor came down to NXT. Ciampa Mace returned from injury. Leo Rush became the Cruiserweight Champion on the NXT side. And the AEW side, you had Chris Jericho, their World Champion. Rio Crown as their Women's Champion. Funny, because after that, then the Kabuki Warriors won the Women's Tag Titles. So I think there's something there. Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, showed up there. Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, faces of the brand. So AEW NXT, an interesting little battle. I'll talk about that later. I was there for the Monday Night Wars, so it's the Wednesday Night Wars. I'm sure those got better viewership, but, We got SmackDown Fox. The Rock came back and did a segment with Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, Tyson Fury. They were teasing a feud for the Saudi Arabia show. He had Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon open up the show. He had Kevin Owens feud with Shane McMahon. He beat Shane McMahon in the ladder match. Loser was fired, so Shane was fired. If Brock Lesnar beat Kofi Kingston in 8 seconds to win the title, and out comes Cain Velasquez with Rey Mysterio. That allowed Brock Lesnar to win the title. So Cain Velasquez's match was teased. We have Hell in a Cell. Becky Lynch beat Sasha Banks. Match is alright, but Sasha should have won here. Charlotte Flair beat Bayley. I couldn't really care. They're making Charlotte Flair too much like Rick. Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan to beat Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. You had Randy Orton defeat Mustafa Ali. You had Braun Strowman, the Viking Raiders defeat the OC. Couldn't really care. And you had Natalya and Lacey Evans. I think Natalya won this one. In the main event, you had The Fiend versus Seth Rollins. You know, red steel cage, red lighting. Now, I knew Seth was walking out champion. So this Becky Lynch won her match. I knew Seth was walking out as champion. I thought Seth might pin Bray Wyatt. So, the match ended here with Seth just doing like 500 curb stomps to Bray Wyatt. Fans were booing at him. They've turned on him. Eventually grabs a sledgehammer and throws all these metal objects at Bray Wyatt's face. And he hits a sledgehammer on Bray Wyatt's head. The ref calls for the bell. There's no announcement if it's a referee stoppage, DQ. Don't know what it is. The fans are just booing. They're chanting refund, AEW. Restart the match. I loved it. Finally, the fans turn against Seth, and The Fiend chokes out Seth Rollins. As far as the ending goes, I wouldn't have done it. I would have given Bray the title, but it was better than Bray getting pinned. But if it was up to me, I would have Bray win the title. It was kind of ruined Bray Wyatt here. Divided feuds into Crown Jewel. You had AJ and Humberto, they did a feud. Not a feud, a series of matches again. Didn't really care. Brock and Cain Velasquez did a feud. That was alright. You had Team Hogan, Team Flair announced for the Crown Jewel. That was okay. You had Tag Team Turmoil. But they couldn't really care. Did Bayley, she won the SmackDown Women's title off of Charlotte Flair. She turned heel, which I liked. Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman, they did a feud. It was okay. The New Day went back to SmackDown Tag Team titles. Then Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins continued their feud. Originally supposed to be on Team Hogan, but due to the backlash at Hell in a Cell, he's getting a rematch with The Fiend. Seth Rollins here burned down the Firefly Funhouse. But a few days later in SmackDown, just magically showed up again. Crown Jewel. Team Hogan wins. Brock beats Cain Velasquez like 2 minutes. First ever women's match here. Lacey Evans Natalya. I think Natalya wins that one. It just does beat Humberto Carrillo. Tyson Fury beat Braun Strowman. Yeah, the OC win the Tag Team Turmoil. It should have been the Viking Raiders. They were the champions, but they lose here to the OC. Yeah, The Fiend beat Seth Rollins. He's walking away with the Universal title. Fine that, but it should have happened at Hell in a Cell. Kind of too late, but But Seth is no longer champion. Then we had the feuds for Survivor Series. Brock and Rey Mysterio did the feud. The month of November was alright. Better than October. You got Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic involved. Rey Mysterio attacking Brock Lesnar. Then you had NXT invasion, which led to Raw vs. SmackDown vs. NXT, and each showed us invade one another. Shayna Baszler invaded SmackDown, attacked Bayley. And every match was a triple threat. Women's match, triple threat. Men's Survivor Series tag team match, triple threat. We had the Intercontinental Champion versus North America Champion versus the U.S. Champion. You had all the women's champions fighting one another. Same with the tag teams. All triple threats. It was just a response to AEW. Yeah. It was okay. I just didn't like all the invasions each week. Survivor Series. Brock Lesnar beat Rey Mysterio. Roderick Strong beat AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. You had The Fiend do a feud with Daniel Bryan. That was pretty good. The Fiend retained against Daniel Bryan. Rhea Ripley's team won Team NXT. They won the Women's Survivor Series tag team match. The Viking Raiders beat the Undisputed Era. And the New Day won their tag titles off the Revival. Yeah. Team SmackDown beat Team Raw, Team NXT. As far as the men's side, had a great showing. Team Roman Reigns, Keith Lee, as Roman Reigns stands tall. And Shayna Baszler defeats Becky Lynch and Bayley. a pretty good Survivor Series. And then we go into December, and can't really care much for what happened here. The Viking Raiders, they beat the Street Profits. Street Profits, I guess, are buried in 3 months of cringe promos. I didn't care for it. They did a 2-month feud with the OC, which meant nothing. Yet the OC beat the Viking Raiders. Set the match for TLC. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, they formed a tag team to take on the Kabuki Warriors. Yet Baron Corbin do a feud with Roman Reigns. It's alright, but Baron Corbin put dog food on him and wear like a dog costume or something like that. Bray Wyatt defeated The Miz. Not the Fiend, but just regular Bray Wyatt. And that's pretty good, man. It's creepy. Some spyware spying on Maurice and his kid. It's pretty cool. Then 2 big storylines with Seth Rollins' heel turn. He turned heel. The crowd was turning on him, so he didn't care what the crowd thought. He blamed Raw for losing at Survivor Series. And here comes Kevin Owens. Delivers Seth Rollins a stunner. Seth Rollins alliance with AOP to take out Kevin Owens. Also attacked Rey Mysterio. So I like this Seth Rollins heel turn, man. It kind of made me like Seth Rollins again, but didn't fix the damage, man. This year still pretty much sucked. They got Mike Kanellis, and Maria. They had some type of baby shower. They were revealing who the father was. First it was Ricochet. Mm-hmm. But then Maria said, no, it's not Ricochet, it's Rusev. And this led to this Rusev-Lana storyline. Rusev was announced as Maria's father, so Lana gets revenge, starts making out with Lashley. He's doing this Val Venus-like vignettes, going to the massage parlor. They're like making out in bed, getting a rest angle here. Then you have a giant wedding, which Rusev just crashes. A lot of people do not like this storyline, but I kind of did. It's so bad that's good. It's unique, creative, it stood out. Like Seth Rollins. So it was alright. I've seen worse. You have TLC, Bray Wyatt defeat The Miz. Daniel Bryan came out and attacked Bray Wyatt. They beat the Revival. They retained their SmackDown tag titles. Baron Corbin gets a shocking upset over Roman Reigns. They said he's putting over talent. He's losing. They had to help the Revival Dolph Ziggler, but, Kabuki Warriors, they beat Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. It's a brutal match, man. Crazy stuff. They hit Charlotte Flair with steel chairs and tied up Becky Lynch on the ladder. So they won. And Bobby Lashley defeat Rusev. That's it for 2019. Well, that was 2019. This year, it's going to get a 5 out of 10, man. This year kind of sucked. It did. Some good, some bad, but... you have Ricochet get buried. You had this cringe Seth Rollins Universal title reign. He was stupid. His forced relationship, Becky Lynch. The whole Fiend fiasco. Seth Rollins' self-destruction, man. He was just so over at the Royal Rumble. And 10 months later, man, people were booing on him. Pretty much buried all these guys. Superstar shakeup, Ricochet, Humberto, Aleister Black. He didn't really do anything because these pick a fight with me promos. He only had 2 matches. He had a match with Buddy Murphy at TLC, and then Cesaro Extreme Rules. He's only been featured on 2 pay-per-views. Lars Sullivan, Humberto, it was just a mess this year. Like I said, a 5 out of 10. Hope 2020 is better, but this year sucked. This has been your WWE 2019 year in review, man. Another year we had a lot of opportunity, but they failed.